and welcome to badgerbeat.com. Rob Hernandez alongside Jim Polzin. Time for the Badger Breakdown after UW's 26-24 heart-stopping victory over Iowa. And Jim, a lot of places to hand out a game ball in a game of this with this much excitement, but the guy that gets it, very deserving, Joel Stave.
Yeah, I thought this was, considering the circumstances, probably one of Joel Stave's best games of his career. He was great. He was poised. He showed great composure, especially on third down. Made plays with his arm and surprisingly with his feet.
Yeah.
I mean that play he made on UW's last possession, scrambling for 12 yards. I don't think anybody in Kinnick Stadium or anybody watching at home probably saw that coming. But another positive step for him. I think this. If he plays like that, I like their chance against Minnesota next week. I think they got a fighting chance against Ohio State in the Big Ten title game if Joel Stave plays that well. So I think this offense continues to progress, and it's a good thing for the Badgers.
Yep, sure. It was one of the more exciting runs in Badger, at least this season for the Badgers. I'm not sure where it would rank all time, but it was certainly one that helped the Badgers pull out the win here today. The thumbs up goes to a guy who's got a lot of game balls in his closet, but today gets the big thumbs up, Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, coming off a great performance last week, you didn't think he could do much to top it, and I don't think he topped today, but he was great in the fourth quarter. That 88-yard run really got him going in the third quarter, but there were some Heisman moments there down the stretch where he carried the team. The third down catch from Stave, some nice tough runs, and again, I shudder to imagine where this team would be without him, and he continues to show that week after week.
Well, and I thought his emergence in the passing game today, while not monster numbers for what UW does, was huge, and it wasn't something we've seen all year. Likewise, your thumbs down is something we haven't seen in a while either. The pass defense of the Badger defense just a little bit porous today. Yeah,
it was strange to see because Iowa was not necessarily a great passing team, and UW's been great against the pass, so you wouldn't have expected what would happen. Iowa had 212 yards, I believe, passing yards in the second half alone. Mm-hmm. They had 7 plays of 20 yards or more. And, Darius Hillary, I think, had a rough game, but you can't just point the fingers at him or the rest of the secondary. Gary Anderson was not pleased, he said after the game, with the lack of a pass rush, and that allowed Rudock to get comfortable back there and really get in a rhythm, and he was nearly unstoppable in that second half.
Well, it sure made for some anxious moments for players, coaches, and fans alike. So the Badgers dodge a bullet despite the breakdowns in pass defense. Jim, time to look at how everybody's going to see this outcome, and starting first with the players, the Badgers. How will they see what they did here today at Kinnick Stadium?
Well, it's an interesting final stretch for this team, going against 3 rivals, and right now it's two rivalry trophies. I know there was a rivalry trophy last week. People didn't pay much attention to it. But 2 rivalry trophies down, 1 more to go, and next one's a big one. Not only are you playing Minnesota for Paul Bunyan's Axe, but you're playing them to represent the West Division in the Big Ten title game, so it should be a good one.
And after last year's post-game so-called melee, it'll be an interesting week for the Badger players, to say the least. For the fans, how do they see this one?
Well, they got to see this a little bit as the bizarro Badgers, because who would have thought that the pass defense, or the defense in general, would crumble, and Joel Stave would be there to rescue the ship with his feet, of all things. So it was certainly, if you're going to be a good team, you got to win different ways, and you need different guys to step up, and I thought we saw that today. For a lot of the season, it's been the defense picking up the offense. It was the other way around today. Well,
if the Badger fans haven't come to expect the unexpected, they sure did today. Finally, the pollsters. Will this do anything for the Badgers stock nationally?
Well, it's interesting because this is a really weak week in terms of the schedule. It was not a lot of great games, and I think people were probably tuned into this game, and certainly if you see the highlights, you're impressed. I was not a great team, but to come in here and win is not easy, and Wisconsin showed a lot of poise and composure and got the job done. So they might make some steps. I certainly think if the College Football Playoff Committee is watching, they have to be impressed by what Wisconsin's done these last 6 weeks. They followed the Northwestern loss by just turning into a completely different team, and right now, like I said, I feel a lot better about their chances going forward than I did, a month ago.
Well, sure was an exciting day here at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City as the Badgers knock off the Hawkeyes 26-24. That's the Badger Breakdown for this week. With Jim Polzin, I'm Rob Hernandez. Thanks for watching Badger Beat. We'll break down the Badgers again next week after the Minnesota game.